Welcome to MDN Network for you.
Modern day niggas,
Modern day niggas. Give niggas some clapping.
All of you. Cause you know why we do this though?
What's that?
Cause you niggas are always gonna nig,
You
dog.
niggas is always gonna nig,
You
man.
can't help yourself cause you just gonna nig, but guess what? We love it.
But see, this time we got a real true black man in here. There's no nigga today.
Yes, sir.
Got my boy back in the house.
What's up, bro?
You know, you the best introducer of yourself, man.
I could do that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
My name is Todd Simon. I am the managing partner of the SimonWrayGroup. We specialize in commercial and residential financing. I've been in the finance industry for 22 years.
Mm.
You know, we do business all over the country. You know, our whole goal is to help people build sustainable wealth through home ownership, understand the power in their purchasing power as a community. And, you know, the bigger piece is understanding that you can do whatever it is that you want to do when it comes to, you know, building a career, building a legacy, man. You know,
Right.
Really,
I like that.
That's really the goal, brother.
So when did you start this company? Because last episode you was with a real estate company.
Yeah, no, I was with I was the regional manager with Legacy Home Loans.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so they were the largest black-owned mortgage company.
Come on now.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta give a shout out to that, man, because
Definitely a shout out to
a
that.
lot of people don't. One, it's hard to have a successful black-owned business, and two, to be one of the largest and to actually, you know, prolong it and you know, keep it going. So, definitely want to shout out to them.
Yeah. Word. And you know, that was about 2.5 years ago.
Yeah, about 2 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. So you know, in April 2023, we made that transition. Me and my partner Netfa Ray. You know, Netfa has a operations background, bro. So he knows how to get people to the table. And so between the two of us, we have about 40 years of experience in the business.
Come on now.
And so, you know, we just looked at it like there were certain things that we wanted to implement that we just couldn't. And so we said, all right, well, you know, we cool anyway. You know, we rock anyway. We talk every day anyway.
Yeah.
You know, we strategize and we brainstorm on how we can help, you know, the community, you know, win. And so we started Simon Ray. We started the SimonWrayGroup, man.
Come on now.
April 2023.
Yeah, that's good.
Hey, I'm gonna make you laugh real quick, cause you know I'm a funny guy, right? So you say how you talk and you put all your operations and your engineering together.
Right.
I got experience. Who that sound like, Darren?
Who that sound like?
You talk every day trying to put ideas together, trying to.
Oh yeah, man, I stay brainstorming, bro. But
Bro, that man that called me be like, "Hey B, listen. First of all, how you doing?" I'm like, "All right, cool. Look, this is what we need to do, man. You need to chop the clips up. What you got going on? We need to get this done, man. We need to get this fixed, man. You need to stop doing this. You need like that." I be like, "Look, I just be kind of low key taking notes. Like, okay. What's next? So
yeah, man. I mean, because you know we trying to learn this podcast field and how we can, you know, the whole thing ain't about making money because I like to do it. I like to know about different people, businesses, and what they have going on. I'm real interested in that. So I do it.
That's
free.
why I want to learn. Help me.
Right.
Yeah,
well, I mean,
but
the one thing I will say, man, is you know, I follow the movement.
Right.
You know, I
Appreciate that.
follow, I like, I share. You know,
yeah,
appreciate
definitely
that.
do that
not
every
just the
time too.
content, bro. And that's real. You know, I love to see what you guys are doing, and I love to see how the show is evolving as well, man.
Right.
So y'all keep pushing.
Yeah, I appreciate
sir.
that, man.
And I want to give a hand clap to Jern, man, for being consistent.
Yeah, appreciate
Because
that.
I'm gonna let you know right now, I have been lazy.
I mean, we go through that time.
I
though.
have been off my rocker a little bit. The vision has not been lost, but I definitely want to give a shout out to you, Jern, because every day you call, every day you keep me motivated, everything you do what you can to keep us alive, and I really appreciate that, man. I know I ain't always been A1, man, and I've been trying, but I really appreciate it.
I know life happens, man. Life happening to me right now, but you know, I just feel like, and it goes back to the conversation that me and Ty had yesterday, right? I kind of call him venting. Because, you know, and I told you about it too, BL, about my truck being in a situation. I thought I'm being already sitting for like 8 weeks. So I called a Ty venting yesterday. And the thing that he said that stood out to me the most was, why can't it happen to you? And when he said that shit, right? I mean, I woke up 4 o'clock this morning. That shit still was on my mind.
Yeah, I know you.
But that's a good brother, man.
But he always been
you.
like that. Like it's like, bro, you can have a conversation with him, bro, and he's just gonna tell you exactly what it is. It ain't gonna be no sugarcoating. It's just gonna be exactly what it is. But it don't come off offensive or anything.
But it's good to have a brother like that, man. Not only just to like from the outside looking in to like tell you what he see, to give you his perspective, but to actually explore, like let you explore your mind. Because sometimes, man, what you really don't understand is the mind is a crazy but unique machine.
Right.
And sometimes like your heart will tell you something, but your mind, man, you really have to dig into your mind. And it can be a scary place.
Hell yeah.
A lot of people can't control it, or probably people don't understand it. But like for somebody to, especially from experience, whether if it's either in podcasting, but just as a man, a black man that can that's able to take the time to reach out, because man, listen, time is so precious that a lot of us nowadays we really don't have. So he was able to sit down and just actually explore something, and then for you to actually accept it and take it with you. That's the biggest thing, man. So definitely shout out to you, man.
Definitely.
And just to put.
Oh,
for real, host.
And to put that in context, what we were talking about is kind of understanding really regret. Right. So sometimes we make decisions. Sometimes we do things just based off of a process, right? Sometimes we have processes in our families where it's like, hey, man,
I'm guilty.
I'm just carrying on this thing because this is the way it's always been done.
Right.
Yeah.
And particularly when you kind of, unpack a little bit about, your mom's wishes and her not longer being here and me losing my mom as well.
Right.
I felt the need at that point to kind of really unpack that a little bit.
Right.
Because guess what, man? I mean, we're going to have things that challenge us. We're going to have things that piss us off.
Right.
We're going to have things that make you feel like I want to complain because I'm pouring out to my people. I'm pouring out to my family, and it's not getting reciprocated. It's not coming back to me in the way that I want to see it come back to me.
Right.
And really the lesson in that is it's not really going to come back in the way that you want it. It's going to come back in the way that God has for you. And so, like, the more that you sit and you just, like, once you internalize it and accept, that, hey,
that's
man,
the
it's
thing.
not gonna
That
be
was the
way I
biggest
want it
thing
to
for
be.
me. Just accepting, like, I knew the truth. I saw the signs, but I just wanted it to be a different way. But I just had to accept it, man. That I think that was the biggest thing for me.
Right.
Yeah. Where you think that would come from in your life, though? Because, like, just wanting it to be a certain kind of way. Is it because, when we out here taking care of ourselves, we usually aim for a certain thing that we want?
Right.
So does it come from that, or it's just like?
I mean, it comes from a myriad of things, man. I mean, it's just really life on life terms, and really understanding that, hey, man, a process is gonna be a process, and you can't control other people's experiences and journeys.
Right.
And so that be the problem.
Well, you struck a nerve right there, boy, because I can relate to that, man.
Because you want to press it and be like, hey, man, you don't really see what the hell you doing, bro.
Right.
Tighten up.
And it's sad when you see it more. This is God talking right now. Because listen, I'm telling you, because it's like, I was just talking to my lady about this, man. It's just like you see something so bad, but you can't want it for somebody else more than you want it for yourself.
That's
Right.
there, bro.
And then, like, when you said that, like, it just struck a nerve, like, because I just want it so bad for the squad, you know what I'm saying? But it's like they got to walk their own path, and maybe they don't see what I see, and it's kind of a constant battle. But, yeah, I ain't mean to cut y'all, bro.
Brother,
You
everybody that come with you can't go with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? So, once you understand, I got to pick up, I got to pick up my cross daily. I got to walk my journey, and I got to be in tune to what God is telling me to do, my focus, my vision, my purpose.
Right.
If I can walk that out, there's going to be some things that's going to, just by habit, there's some things that's going to fall away.
And I'm noticing that's not a bad thing anymore.
It's kind of not, man. We want to carry everybody with us. We want everybody to kind of be down. And most of the time, when you as you're getting up this ladder of success, you start to realize that you want people to clap for you. You hear the applause, but you want people that you want to clap for you.
Right. People that you feel like you're doing it for. Yeah.
Correct. People that's known your journey. People that's been rocking with you the whole time. You're like, damn, I should have the flowers from y'all more so than people that don't know me.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the opposite way.
It's so opposite.
And so, like, it pisses me off, right? Particularly in finance, man. I mean, like, damn, you know.
Yeah, like you'll know me for years and still go over here to somebody you suggested. But see, like, and the thing, I think, because I went to you for my first bank account, so, but I don't remember when me and Lonnie got together about the house. I think I was in the oil field, so me and Lonnie had been, talking and stuff.
Right.
But still, that's just me going to deal with the people that I know that's into the field.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But even in that, right? So you didn't just allow somebody to blindly lead you into something else. You was like, okay, I know Lonnie. Okay, he can help me get this done. That's still keeping it a buck and keeping it in our community, right?
And trusting them, with you with what you're doing, because that's your friend. That's somebody that you is a confidant. That's what I look at. That's like I look at you. Right. If I want to buy some commercial property, I come to you, and I feel like you would give me the best deal.
100%.
So let me ask you this, man, because I was in finance. I got a lower level, like lending loans. So a lot of times, like, and I'm pretty sure you ran across this with the experience you've had. So when I was in lender loans, a lot of times I did the loans and I also did the collections. That was the hard part. So people be like, man, come see me. But it's just like people expectations were so high. And then it's like what I could actually afford to give them. And then they be like, why? And then I have to explain, like, look, this is on your credit. This is it. This is why I can't do this. You haven't reached this terms. And it wedged a kind of a eerie friendship. And so that kind of like when he said, I came to you, and then like, but you were able to turn around and explain to him if you could or you couldn't help him why. And was that like a hard thing for you? Or have you ever ran across any situations like that?
Yeah, man. I mean,
like that.
Because I got some questions to follow up with.
Yeah, I don't even want to show nobody my credit. I'm just like, I already know.
Let's get to it. All right. So when people don't want to hear the truth. People want what they want.
Right.
And so a part of my responsibility and what we do with helping people buy homes or, buy commercial properties, whatever that is I got to tell you where you are.
Right.
And so it's like, okay, let's do the application. Let's get the credit pull. Let's look at it. Let's analyze it. How much money do you actually have saved for this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But a lot of times we want to try to get something for nothing, but that's not always the case.
Right.
And so it's like let's look at habits. What we have in our community is we'll rather look good losing than sacrifice and actually win. Like, so we're gonna go get the lace front and get all this hat, all this weave, and we're gonna buy the Jordans when they come out because I got to have them. Like, what you mean you got to have them?
Right.
Like, so we'll put a liability in the place of an asset. So you're not getting anything. You don't own anything, right? So one of the bigger things, right, and you guys might have heard this, is a report called The Road to Zero Wealth, right? And it says by the year 2053 that black and brown people are on the road to zero wealth, meaning that if we keep on with the same habits, then our community, we're not going to have any wealth at all. Damn. And so that was a shocking revelation to me because it's like, okay, ding, 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 the light bulb is off. They're talking about it. But at what point are we going to say, I can be disciplined enough, focused enough, and sacrifice enough to get something that I can actually leave a legacy instead of looking at clothes and shoes? Let's get titles and deeds.
Yes, sir. Right. That's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm transitioning to actually having some type of assets, and the biggest thing for me, and it's gonna tie into what you said. So the biggest thing for me is having death in the family, and then not having anything left over. You know what I'm saying?
Insurance?
Or,
You mean like
insurance and property, cars, different things like that. And then, like, not to put anybody's business to it, but I knew somebody that was in a car accident, and they were in the hospital for about a year and a half, and their wife knew nothing.
I mean, like, as far as like
the finances, or how to get to the banks, and nothing. And then end up losing their house, cars, and stuff. And then whole time, it bothered me because I'm like, dang, this is your person, and they can't even. not knowing, like, say if that was me, I was laid up in that hospital bed, my house and everything is gone, all because of an unfortunate accident, and they weren't able to take care of themselves. So like you were saying with the generational wealth and how they think it's gonna be at zero, I feel like personally me, and I could be wrong, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like the information is starting to go out there. I feel like they just like playing dodgeball, like we throwing this stuff at you. We're finding out new stuff that took us over 20 to 40 years to find out.
Right.
But actually now it's time for us to like accept it, and then not just accept it, but actually put it to use.
That was good right there, bro. I'm so glad you put that last piece on. So glad you put that on.
Yeah.
Like I'm like at that point to where like, okay, now I know, I accept what I'm doing is maybe not wrong, but I could have did this other way. Like how you said, okay, I could probably cook some spaghetti and go and get this steak.
Yes.
Now the information I'm starting to learn and seek from other people, because now I'm asking questions. Now I'm looking into stuff. How do I put it to me and start using it?
Absolutely, man. I mean, well, you know, years ago. Let's back it up a little bit, right? So when we're talking about insurance and various things like that, like you had laws and you had things that were in place to really not put us in position to actually win.
I'm sorry, I see that now.
So you know they would sell life insurance that is only going to give you the death benefit and talk about how you can borrow against it and all of that, but not tell you how to borrow against it and what is the consequence of borrowing against these things. Right, so you may have grandma who had an insurance policy that was good enough to actually take care of everything, but she also understood that she could cash value withdraw from it. She withdraw from it
don't say
to
nothing.
pay for some foolishness, a cruise, or whatever. Right? And then she passes, and then now you're understanding that it's subtracted from the actual death benefit.
That's what happened to my daddy. It happened the same way to my daddy. The same exact
And
way.
now we stuck holding the bag, trying to figure out how to put you in the ground.
Well, what happened with him was it paid for his funeral because he was in the military, and you know they got their own burial site, so that's free. But it paid for all his embalming and stuff in his casket, and then the remaining balance left over, I think it was probably like $2,000.
And that fell on y'all.
That
fell on the family?
No, I'm talking about that he had left out of the policy that he could give to us.
Right.
Well, but when the policy was originally, I think it was 40 or 50,000.
Right. So you know, I mean, but these things happen, right? So if we bring that forward, the knowledge is there. You have our generation now that have hip hop. You know, we grew up like we went through that pain. We lived through that pain. And so now, as we're becoming professionals in our own right, we have to have dialogue conversations like this to say, okay, if you got a family, like what's the contingency plan? Like how much insurance do you have? Like look at if something happens right now, do I have enough coverage to actually pay off my crib, pay off my cars, finish taking my daughter to school, paying for her college, whatever the case may be.
That's my biggest fear, man. I just don't want them to skip a beat.
Right.
Only thing you should ever worry about is missing me. Not the liability I put on them, not the bills, you know what I'm saying? Or you should be like, dang, my dad did look good on this picture. Right. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, all right, what I'm going to do with this car? What I'm going to do with this house? Then now you're unfolding other stuff that you don't know about that now somebody coming after you for. Correct. And I just don't want that to happen to me. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I got a question, though. So in these days right now, or just in your life period, what would you suggest a person to do? Would you suggest them to get insurance policy first or purchase a house? Well, we'll say even if you got the house, the insurance policy, would you, how should I say this? I had it in my mind, I just forgot. The way you buy them, because, you know, everybody sells insurance. But it's different ways you can buy insurance that where it becomes generational wealth for your family.
Right. Well, I mean, when it comes to insurance, I'm not an insurance professional, right? So I can't really talk, and I'm not gonna say some things that might, you know, get fact checked and all of that. But I have a lot of guys that are in that industry that you could always tap in with me, and I can get you in touch with them.
Right.
But when you think about how you stack rate things, the goal of the insurance is to be able to pay for stuff when you don't have the money.
Okay.
Right. So as you know, so if we're saying, okay, cool, for everything you do inventory in what you have in your life. So if if you don't have a house, or you only got cars, you only got some things, you may only need $150,000 of life insurance policies. You don't have, a lot of stuff to pay off.
Right.
But once you actually buy your house and things like that, you just change. You just increase the amount of the policy that you have to make sure that what you have is covered if you leave. And so, these are things that I had to learn as well. So it's just taking the steps somewhere, talking to somebody in some capacity that can at least drop some kind of gem on you, and not, and then from there, like when it comes to saying, okay, should I have a life insurance policy or have a house first? I don't think there's a particular order. I think that you should always have some level of life insurance on whatever the case may be. Right. So that way your family is not left trying to do a GoFundMe or something like that to actually pay for your burial expenses, which is what we were talking about outside, right? And so, it may only start with what you can afford right now, but as you start to grow and you start to, get more assets and buy more in your life and you grow, then you can just increase the amount of insurance that you have just to make sure that we cover it properly.
Okay, so my thing, I guess I had confused you I confused myself too, but what I was really inquiring was which one would be a better investment?
Both of them.
Yeah.
Both of them.
For real? Because what I've noticed about Grant Cardone, I was watching something that Grant Cardone said, right? And he was telling me that, watching it, and he was saying that you can actually build generational wealth off of insurance policies. Absolutely. But then he said what happens is if you don't want them to get it all at one time, then you put it in a trust.
Yeah, I've heard that.
And it breaks down every year to pay them.
Absolutely. And so, okay, so you're talking about a trust, right? With a trust, it is basically like, okay, it's a couple things that we just don't talk about in our community. It's like having a will and having trust. Right. So that means that if anything happened, I have instructions as to what's going to happen with what I've amassed in my lifetime. Right. So, this amount is going to go here. The dope thing about a trust is you can put your houses in it, you can put cars in it, you can put all kinds of things. But you can actually leave instructions to make sure that say you pass and like for me, I got 3 daughters, right?
Right.
So if something were to happen, it's like, okay, this lump sum was going to go here, and then they may get a couple $100 a month.
Okay.
Until they get to a certain age.
Okay, that's what I want to do.
You see what I'm saying? And everybody's situation varies. Everybody's situation is a little bit different.
Right.
And so you got to figure out what works for you. And then from there, you can just put some type of plan in place.
Okay.
It's true when you talk about trust and all this stuff is a real high level, but it's like, okay, I'm here. All of the things that you hear and digest on social media is way up here.
Way up there.
Right?
Yeah.
They make it sound so easy,
and
too.
sometimes is it even accurate?
Yeah, and that's why I'm asking. Yeah.
Most of the time it's accurate, but you may not get the fine print. And these things that are happening up here may not even apply to you yet.
Right.
So it's principles and foundations that you need to have in place before you even get there. So, like, if you can't save $100 out your check every month, what the hell is having a trust matter?
Right. It don't even make no sense. Yeah.
This man right here is dropping gems.
Okay,
Facts.
so
And I got some other, but go ahead, John.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to ask about commercial property purchasing. Like, okay,
See, I like the way John think because I was about to swing into that.
like that, yeah, because that's a different process from buying a house in your personal name. You know what I'm saying? And like the requirements of it. Like, what will be your requirements of buying commercial property?
Well, one of the things that we've kind of mastered in how we flow when it comes to commercial is we have, we're brokers, so we have multiple institutions that we can send the deal to, which gives us the ability to kind of almost tailor fit something to your particular plan. The biggest caveat in it is if you're buying an actual commercial building, you got to have at least a 650 credit score, and you got to have 30% down.
That's it.
Like that.
That's it, man.
30%. Shit, that commercial property might be $100,000. You gotta have $30,000.
$30,000.
Well, let me ask you this. So I'm gonna give you a scenario because this is what I kind of want to swing into, and I'm glad that you brought up the trust and insurance. So For somebody like me, your title is in. Tell me your title.
I'm the managing partner of the SimonWrayGroup.
So, okay, so you're the managing partner. So you are a corporate mortgage broker, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure I got that right.
Yeah, that sound about right. I like how that sounds.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I was on point.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna give you a scenario. So I want a warehouse for because I want to get out of trucking. I want to buy a warehouse and I want a freight for it. Right. I'm looking for something that's at least about 30 miles from the airport.
Got it.
I can get 10 to 12 trucks in at a time.
Got it.
What would be the process and what would I need to do to make that happen?
Have a 650 credit score and have 30% down.
Like that. Just that.
It's that simple.
What about the searching of the property?
That's where actually having an agent kind of works in, because they're going to be that person that goes to help you find the property.
And I'm glad you asked me that, because I was going to ask you what's the difference between a broker and an agent.
Right. So the agent is the person that actually helps you go find the property. They'll sit down and have a conversation with you in terms of like, what are your specifications? Like what you broke out to me is warehouse,
12 trucks.
Yeah. I want this amount of space. I need it to be this close in proximity to the airport and things of that nature because of trucking routes and things of that nature. So I picked that up just because my background is being a small business banker. And so I'm, my whole career is to pull those things out and then come up with a solution for it. What an agent does is they're going to go find that property.
Okay.
Right? What we do is we'll give you the pre-approval for it. So we're going to get the docs, we're going to get all of that stuff. We're going to do the application, and we're going to pull the credit. Make sure that you're in position to actually buy that. We give that pre-approval out to the agent, and they go help you find it.
Okay.
So you're the final. So what they were saying in the hood. So you the final boss.
Yeah, he get the damn check. That's what it sounds like. He get the check for it.
Because you got entry level, then you meet the final boss.
Yeah,
at the end of the mission. You know what I'm saying?
You get final level. Right?
I remember the dude, the white dude that I signed my papers for my house, man. He said, "Yeah, you signing yourself to your 30-year sentence, huh?" I was like, "What? 30-year sentence?"
The first time I heard that.
Yeah, but he kept it real with me. He was like, "Well, but this what you can do to get up out of it."
So what's the, not necessarily from my understanding, but maybe those who have questions, what's the difference between residential property and commercial property? But I may have a residential property that's big enough to be considered a commercial property, and if I did want to turn a commercial property into my residence, I hope I'm not losing you.
No, I'm with
Okay. How would I specify the difference between the two that could actually work in my favor?
comes in the zoning. That's where zoning comes in, right?
Okay.
So,
Make it sound so easy, so simple.
Yeah, shit, he been doing it forever, bro. Like forever.
It breaks down into zoning, right? Because certain things are zoned for particular purposes. So think about this, right? So when you're thinking about a subdivision, and you go into an area like in our city, like Bluff Road, Shot Road.
Okay.
That area is all commercial stuff.
Industrial.
Right? It's industrial. It's on industrial. So that's where you're going to find your warehouses. That's where you're going to find the things where a lot of the heavy equipment, trucks and things are really located in those areas because it's zoned for industrial stuff. You may have something that's in between that could be zoned both, like called mixed use. So it could so you'll see like a mixed use zoning in like a house that is been converted into a law office, dental office, stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I think that's what I was. Right? Yeah, I think that's what I was kind of getting at. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And so that comes into zoning. So they may allow you to be zoned for both. So you can particularly run a business out of that, or it could be zoned for residential purposes. Okay. One of the things that I've seen that I think the trend is going to come to is there's a housing shortage. So there's not enough houses for people that want to actually buy. What I've been seeing a lot of people do is like convert commercial spaces into residential spaces. So
I've seen that too. That's why I asked you about that.
Yeah. And so I think that's where the wave is going to go. I really think that's how you can really kind of get into really making some money long term that way. So for example, right, one of the things that I just I dreamed about when I saw it and they tore it down. But you remember the Motel 8?
Motel
on the
8.
corner of St. Andrews Road, like by Chuck E. Cheese?
Yeah. They
Yeah.
tore it down. Yeah.
Well, they used to leave the lights on for
Man,
the roaches.
I caught my crack charger.
Yeah.
I caught my crack charger, that motherfucker.
Yeah, had to run from there before.
Yeah. Goddamn right.
Dip behind the Exxon.
Man.
Come on now.
Yeah, get the hell on through. I couldn't even go nowhere. Them boys trapped me out so bad at the light. And took me to Lexington. I ain't wasn't no Richland, nobody.
Once you pass the IHOP right there, you know in Lexington County. Right?
Yeah.
And you gotta be careful right there because that line kind of runs straight through Piney Woods and Piney Grove and Bonnie Forest back there. You gotta be careful how it's zone.
Yep, that's exactly where I went at. Them Lexington show took my ass to jail right at Motel 6. That's the same one.
But
what about
like this? So a lot of commercial investors may take like an old hotel or something that's an eyesore in the community, and like you take that, renovate the whole thing, and now you have individual suites.
Mm-hmm.
You know, instead of it being a hotel. So it's certain things like that you can repurpose in a certain way. They're not gonna. God is not making any more land.
Yeah, you're right.
So
you're right.
it's gonna be ways. How do I then start to kind of educate myself in ways that can put myself long term into a position where I can start to have residual income.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever worked on one of those apartment complex deals where you get them big ass multi-plexes and how does that work? Do it be multiple people involved or?
It depends, right? So we've had a couple. We've had some where they had multiple owners in their LLC, and we had some where it was just a few. The biggest piece of it is 650 credit score. Do you have the money?
All of them, but all of them have to have it?
Just the one that's going to be primary.
Okay.
Right. So you don't have to run everybody's credit.
Okay. Just that one person.
Right.
So would a trade line help, or would you need to run my personal credit, or would you look at my business credit?
Well, you're gonna always kind of look at your personal credit, right? Personal credit is gonna, not to say that you're gonna be the sole personal guarantor of it, right? Because it's gonna close in the LLC name, but you gotta at least pull the actual personal credit because that says a lot about your spending habits and your responsibility.
So what would be the whole point of having business credit if it's gonna still attach back to your name?
It doesn't always attach back.
Oh, okay.
It just may be an inquiry.
Okay.
Like I'm gonna look at it first. Okay, cool. So you take care of your things that you need to take care of. Then it all breaks down to risk.
Okay.
Right. So whenever any bank, any underwriter is looking at any deal, it's just looking at the levels of risk.
Oh, okay.
So if you have collections and you got a 580 credit score and you don't have a history of paying things on time, then it's unrealistic risk.
Right.
You may have a little bit higher of an interest rate just because
because your payment history.
Correct.
So let me ask you a question. It may not apply to you, but I still want to ask it.
Yeah.
Say that because I like how you bought in how multiple LLCs may come together like a corporation, correct? Yeah. Okay. So say for example, they actually do get the loan, they do get the property, but the business goes bad or they fall out between one another. What happens to? Because you did say like that one person does have to qualify. Now, if the business go bad and they fall out,
Right. It's just an inquiry to make sure that the person that's going to be the primary on that loan is creditworthy.
Okay, so say like the business goes bad and they fall out between one another. What ensures that either who's going to be held equally responsibly, or like say for somebody that left me holding the bag, like how does that work? And what happens if I default on that loan?
Well, at that point, that's where you got to actually have a lawyer involved, right? So you want to actually have, an attorney on some level. We're talking corporations and LLCs with multiple partners. You got to have some partnership agreements. You got to have some non-disclosure agreements, some things in place to say, hey, man, if this happens, we're going to sell the property and we're going to split the proceeds equally between the five of us, whatever the case may be.
Okay.
What I think happens a lot of times is we get caught up in homeboy type vibes.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he going to do that to me. This my man. We've been cool for 30, 20 years, whatever. Right? So it's like we won't have that conversation. And so so everything at that point is all reactive. So I'm reacting on things that's happening versus actually planning for the worst.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like having a plan in place. Should things go bad, what are we going to do? You know, are we gonna like sell it, buy out the other, you know, other owners, and then that one person is gonna now keep it for themselves? There's a lot of different ways that you can kind of, you know, break that down.
Because I feel like you did make a good point there when you said that, and like people don't think about like preparing for the worst. Think of homeboys, because I feel like death and greed are two biggest things of people downfall. You know what I'm saying? And then like I think like what I wanted to ask is too, like, yes, have your lawyers involved and have everything in a straight line, but like what happens to that other person? Like, even if say there is a contract, like do they just get out scot free, or is that just a long term process before you're even able to sell the property?
Well, really, I'm gonna say that's gonna depend on the property itself.
Okay.
Like, you know, there's always some kind of demand. So if you take something that was, let's just say it's a house, it's an old ugly house in the subdivision, right? Everybody's trash and dirt and stuff like that around it. So you guys get it, you clean it up, you put somebody in it, they're renting it. Yeah. Something happens, y'all fall out. Now when you go to sell that, it is no longer the same thing. Because you put work into it, you put sweat equity into it, you took time and you beautified the area. So now it's attractive to the next person that wants to buy it.
Yeah.
Right. That's
Versus trying to sell something that's dilapidated.
Okay.
Because somebody's going to have to come into that with a vision. But if you've already kind of cleaned it up, you painted the walls, you kind of renovated the bathroom, everything looks good. Now when you go to sell that, you'll probably have more people that want to buy it versus trying to buy something that's kind of, you know, beat up, you know?
Yeah. Because of the cosmetics. But
do you feel like that? Oh,
go ahead.
My bad.
No, go ahead.
Do you feel like there's like gonna be a bigger issue coming forward, like say for example, like with the bigger corporations that are closing? Like I noticed like I don't know the name of the plant, but don't quote me, but I know there was a plant that was closing down, like kind of like in the Irmo area. Yeah. It's laying off jobs. Like, do you see where it'll be a problem to actually either resell? Because I know you're not the actual agent, I know you're the broker, but do you think there'll be an actual problem to where like reselling those properties and getting funding, or do you think there'll be any type of tax credits coming up soon where people can actually help get afloat? Because I know we're going through inflation right now in harder times, but do you think that'll impact? Do you think that that's impacting like the corporate world and division in property? If I'm asking that question correctly, I know I'm in circles.
That was super layered.
I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, I thought he layered that thing out. You got me. I was thinking too. I was like, damn.
So what I will say is that, you know, you have corporate downsizing in recessionary times, right? So with inflation, things of that nature. So you have layoffs and things like that, right? But I think for the, you know, my goal is always to talk to the people, man. Like, I'm not really trying to, my focus is not to talk to a corporation. My focus is to inspire my people to have a plan and try to figure out how to navigate whatever it is that happens. So if I'm coming from that particular standpoint first, then it's like, okay, what are you doing that is that's attached to whatever your purpose is? What are you excited about? Right? So you can have a job, get up and go to work every day, but that's not fulfilling you. So what else is there that you can actually monetize that you love doing?
Right.
Maybe you love to cook. Maybe you like to draw. Maybe you're an artist. All of these kind of things. Start working on that kind of stuff so that way you always have a cushion. So it could be a blessing in disguise if you prepare. So you could be working at a job, they lay off the plant, but for the past 3 to 4 years, you've been grinding. You've been kind of putting your vision together. So if they come lay out and pull the rug from underneath you, that just bless you, because now I'm about to go after my vision 100%.
And see, that's why when I was talking to you yesterday, I kept feeling like that's what was happening to me. Like, it's forcing me to do my vision, but at the same time, I'm like, damn, how the hell I'm gonna cushion myself?
Right.
You know what I mean? So I was going through that, and it's like, I don't know if it's a blessing or a curse right now, because, you know, when you can't see the future in front of you, you really don't know what the fuck gonna happen. You know what I mean? Especially when you got kids, you gotta go ahead and provide for them. So
I got a question though,
What's
right,
that?
for both of y'all, right? Sometimes I believe that we as a people, we can sometimes get caught up in analysis paralysis.
Okay.
Right? So all you're doing is analyzing what could happen. All you're doing is analyzing what could go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But we jumped off the porch in a whole lot of mess.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
really?
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We ain't have to know all the intricate details about how I'm going to get the bag and how I'm going to get this package and how I'm going to get it back here from cross.
Yeah, wherever.
You know what I'm saying? What kind
right.
of car we driving? Anybody care about that? It's like, when I get it back, though, what we on.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So the same thing applies. Like, take the same principles in the things that you were fearless about trying to accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you follow me?
No, I
So
definitely
it's like,
follow you.
Man,
yeah.
let me jump off the porch and let me just go. Because you don't know what's there. Like, you don't know what's on the other side of that fear and that thing that's stopping you. It might open up everything that you ever dreamed about.
Right.
If you just go.
Yeah, and kind of to circle back to what you said too, because I kind of want to ask you this question. I posted this the other day. I was talking to a friend of mine. We was talking about risk and leap of faith. Because he was like, man, I take risk, and I don't care, I take risk. I said, no, you don't really take risk. You take a leap of faith.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I've been starting to do more. Now, don't get me wrong.
Right.
I make sure at least 70% of my affairs in order before I do something.
Correct.
So I ain't gonna say I'm all the way perfect, but I do believe in. I ain't gonna say look, because I be finding like $1 on the ground. That's look, but
I'm telling you.
But you know what I'm saying. I believe in perfect timing.
Right.
I really do. So like to kind of answer your question, I'm like, yeah, I do kind of like if something's been nudging at me to do something, I'm gonna do it. Right. And like we was like Jerm and I have a mutual friend. Shout out to Jake Staley.
Yeah.
Comedian Jake Staley. He was saying like he just put everything down and went to pursue his dream. Right. Now, granted, I know it sounds good, and a lot of people like me gonna be like, all right, so what the hell he did? Mm-hmm. But sometimes he did make a good point. Like if you ask for God something, if you ask God for something long enough, he gonna give it to you. Right. Now, how he gives it to you may not be what you want, because he may be pushing you out that situation, or he may drop a bomb on
like
you.
the bird kick the little birds out the nest, like kick your ass out. That's how I feel like you doing me, man. It's like, damn, what you doing, kicking me out? Like, man.
So that's why I wanted to ask you, like, what do you think the difference is between the risk and the leap of faith?
Okay, everything a risk. Every relationship you got is a risk.
Right.
You know, whether it's a marriage, whether it's relationships like this, you're trusting and you're putting yourself out there. Will you get hurt sometime? Yeah, right. So a risk is it is what it is.
It's
right?
inevitable, what you saying.
But what I'm saying is, when it comes down to risk, is it an unrealistic risk or is it realistic? You follow me?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll break that down a little bit further. So, am I doing research about the thing and getting as much personal development in the thing that I want to try to do?
Right.
Or am I just catching half of what I think is right and I'm jumping off emotions?
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean? When we talking risk. Because sometimes you'll jump off the porch emotional about something and you haven't done any research about what that's going to look like.
Exactly.
You don't know how you're going to actually make money from it. You don't know any of that.
Like a rash decision?
It's completely irrational.
Excuse me.
Irrational,
completely
irrational, yeah.
Yeah, but a rash decision is the same thing. Like, I'm about to not pay attention to what I'm doing. I'm finna go with my heart, and I'm finna put myself in a situation that might take me a couple years to get out of it.
Right.
Because I ain't slow down for a couple years. You have people that's in the penitentiary right now because they didn't take that 30-second rule. Shout out to my man Lester Young.
Lester Young? It's not like I heard him.
He sound familiar.
Yeah. So my Lester Young, he does Path to Redemption. So he does a lot with reentry citizens, people that are coming out of prison.
Oh, okay.
Kind of talking to them about getting reacclimated back to society and things of that nature. So,
right.
So he and I, we got
Shout
some things
out to
coming
Mr.
down
Young,
the path.
man. Y'all come on the
for
show.
real?
Yeah, we got
That's
some
good.
things coming down the pipeline here in a minute. Yeah. But we were talking about that 30-second rule. We were talking about that the other day, and it's like, and that's sometimes the difference between making a really good decision and making a bad one is 30 seconds to breathe and then recalibrate and then make that decision.
Right.
Right. And so that same thing applies, I think, to business and life or whatever the case may be. To come back to the leap of faith piece that you were talking about is there a difference?
What do you mean?
If we're talking about paying attention, looking at the risk, and then moving, if you're a child of God, then how is it a leap of faith? It's just obedience.
Okay. Yeah, I make a real
Feel me?
good
Like
sense.
the whole leap of faith thing is a lot. In my opinion, now
That's understood.
it's my opinion.
Yeah.
You know,
You
so
just
my opinion.
definitely gave me a good outlook. That's why I'm like intrigued.
But if you already a child of God and you already follow God and live by the principles to the best of your ability, it's not a leap of faith. It's you being obedient to something that you believe He's telling you.
Exactly.
So it says the steps of a good man are ordered by God. So if you don't go nowhere, then how He gonna order what steps you take?
Right.
So really, the leap of faith is you just actually getting active.
You just did it, yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so you're gonna do your own inventory. You're gonna look at it and say, okay, I feel really good about this next decision that I'm gonna make.
Right.
God, I need you to hold me down because I'm about to move and go.
Yeah. And then like sometimes even when you think it didn't work out for you, like say if you made a move like that,
Right.
and you don't think it worked out for you, it might have worked out for you in a different kind of way. You just
It always work out.
yeah, because you're gonna learn from it anyway if you mess up. That's how I look at shit. Like if I mess up, then I'm gonna learn from it anyway.
But it's what you do
Always
after you
a win.
learn from it.
Yeah.
Word. That's the part right there. So,
Yeah.
like, what lesson am I extracting from what I think could have been a loss?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Or am I about to blame everybody around me and be emotional and be pissed off?
That's
Or am I
not-
going
I
to say,
just-
okay, this is what happened. This is what I did well. And this is what I didn't do well. So the
Right.
next time we do that, I'm going to take all this box of things that happened well, and I'm going to leave the mistakes,
Right.
and I'm going to try again.
Right.
It took me a long time to hold myself accountable, for the mistake I made. And because even like with my arrest, and it wasn't nothing crazy, but I kept at that time I was so pissed out. I was like, man, the police did me wrong. They did me dirty, and the whole time was my ignorance was above the law.
Okay, that's heavy. You want to unpack that a little bit?
Yeah, my ignorance
yeah,
above the
okay.
law. So I had a firearm.
Okay.
It was mine.
All right.
It was legal. I didn't steal it. Wasn't nothing wrong crazy.
Right.
But when I got pulled over, it just wasn't in the glove box.
Okay. And so you were mad that the law kind of kicked in
Yeah.
that place.
But when I bought it, nobody explained it to me.
Right.
When I bought the
Right.
firearm, even though I should have did my research,
Right.
I should have had it where I was supposed to have it. But for a long time, I blamed them because I'm like, man, y'all could have let me go. There was some BS, da. But when you buying a firearm, you buying a car, when you buy insurance, you're supposed to know, hey, you need to have full coverage or liability.
Right.
You need to have your stuff intact when you're driving, because driving is not a right; it's a privilege.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? I violated that right.
But you know how I think about that? I think about it like this. Maybe you got stopped for a reason.
I did.
You know what I'm saying?
My life
No,
was
but I
suspended.
ain't even talking about like that. I ain't even saying from that angle. I'm
I got you.
saying
I got you.
maybe there was something that stopped you from being somewhere else.
It did.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It did.
And sometimes if it might be getting pulled over, it might be a flat tire, it might be anything that's stopping you from being somewhere else. Then that could be something that the devil had for you to destroy you at that moment. So maybe you weren't supposed to get the way you were trying to go, because who knows what could have happened. You may not be
And
sitting
it
here
was
today,
my
bro.
mentality too, man, because I felt like I just had to have, you know what I'm saying, I had to be protected and everything. And then like after going, because I was pissed because they made me go through the anger management, all the counseling and stuff, but I learned so much from it, and it made me look at myself in a different light. Like, you know what? The money I spent, I wasn't happy about, but the lesson I got from it,
And that's it.
in learning to hold myself
And that's what we was talking
accountable.
about outside, right? We were talking about like it's trauma. Like we are operating as black men. We are operating a lot of times in trauma,
Right.
and we don't know it
Yeah.
until maybe you go to counseling. You don't know it until maybe you have to do an anger management class.
Right.
Sometimes you don't know it until you have to go do a defensive driving course because of this thing right here.
Right.
And you start
I
to
just
sit
did that.
back and you realize you like, damn, you know what? I had these bad habits and I don't know where they come from. I'm just carrying on what I saw.
Right.
in front of me.
Right. Yeah.
And so sometimes you have to have a wake up call, and
Oh, it
in
woke
order
me
to
up,
actually kind of push forward. And sometimes you don't want it to be the wrong wake up call where you ain't
You know, more.
where you ain't moving no more.
Yeah.
You know?
So now you got me thinking about why this fucking truck broke down. Nah, cause I actually shouts out to Andre Hooker, a guy from the oil field. He actually stayed in Cornelius, North Carolina. But one thing he always told me, like I would be fussing about traffic and shit, like, you know, or they huddling me up at the delivery, and he was like, man, well, you might have shouldn't have. You probably they held you up because you probably shouldn't have been somewhere. You should have just sat there. You know what I'm saying? That's why it happened.
I'm only laughing because man, get out the way, man. Why you coming in front of me?
Yeah, you know how I am.
And we do the same thing.
Yeah, you know how I am. I cuss them niggas, I cuss them out. But when you said that, that's the same thing he's telling me. So now it's like, okay, then why this truck doing this to me right now? Yeah. And that's the mind boggling. That's why the frustration was so heavy when I was talking to you yesterday. It's like, okay, I understand when he tells me that. And now that you reiterate it, but it mind boggles me of what are you stopping me from?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, think about it like this. Like, you know, what else are you supposed to be doing in the meantime? Yeah. Because, like, when that truck get fixed, you're going to be focused on something else.
Right.
What can be happening between now and that truck getting fixed that you should be actually focusing on? Sometimes
right.
God will slow you down and ground you for
and see, a lot of things that I do. Right. So what I do, like for this, I just say for these last couple of weeks, I was looking at a bunch of different podcasts, and I was trying to understand their niche, like what makes people keep coming back to them. There are different camera angles, what I could do different, and I was thinking about those different things, and like how to get sponsors. So now my thing is I got to get with somebody that can help me get those things. You know what I'm saying? So I was thinking about it, writing all that down, and just seeing how I want to develop this to be something big. But, you know, when you just stagnant like that, and I'm used to hands-on working.
Facts.
You see what I'm saying?
I got you.
Like, so it kind of scares me when I have to actually put might as well say it's true. When you have to take your ideas and put it to action.
Word. Yeah.
Instead of working for it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
You know, that's, you know, trading time for dollars, right? Sometimes when you slowing down, it's the time when you don't know what that's gonna leapfrog. You don't know what that actual time of you sitting still and just being still, hearing from God, writing your stuff down, right, and then saying, okay, I've looked at all the different angles. I've actually researched other people that do podcasts and how they do sponsorship and how these things work and stuff like that. Okay, I'm finna go.
Right.
And so this time period that you down could actually be a blessing because you could not even be still long enough while you're driving to even have the way that everything is flowing to you. Right. Like, you would have been driving on the road. You wouldn't have had the time to even catch it.
Yeah, we always do that. Yeah, when we talk about brainstorming.
I respect your strength, brother, because I know I'd be losing my mind right now if I was going.
Man, I am. And it's just like, but it's like, it keeps happening. Like, bro, like, you talk about this truck set for 6.5 weeks. I get it. And then it breaks down the next day. You know what I'm saying?
Wait. So it was down for how long now?
6.5 weeks because I had ran over a ladder.
Then you got it fixed.
And then I got it fixed.
And then it broke the next day?
It drove to Charleston, came back, and then the whole air system just went out. Just like how, bro. And then you can ask any truck driver right now. The air compressor on a truck probably is the last thing to ever go out. Even the motor will lock up before the air compressor locks.
Yeah, and so the air compressor went out.
Now, why the hell Jesus fucking with me is what I'm asking you, Todd. See, that's what I'm telling you. This the problem I have with that motherfucker. Yeah, I see how you looked at me like that. And that's what I'm saying. And that's why I asked you, why the fuck is Jesus doing that? Because, see, me and him have a rocky relationship after my mama died. I fucks with him, but sometimes I don't. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I have to get myself together, and I'm like, what the fuck is this man doing to me?
I love you, Jesus.
So let me...
That's all
I love you, Jesus.
I love you, Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, you know, you got to have your own relationship. Bro.
You do.
And he has a sense of humor. So.
Yeah, you know.
And granted, like, you know, some people... Their skin will crawl when you said.
Yeah, they be you gonna get screwed down and like, man, fuck that.
But he being realistic though.
And that's the thing.
He being transparent.
That I love is dope is that you being transparent in this moment. Okay. So the question I have for you though is like, it broke down the next day.
The next day.
So what is it that you were supposed to be doing in the first 6.5 weeks that you didn't do?
That's what I'm thinking.
That you should be doing now.
That was trying to figure out now.
That's a good damn question, bro. Because now that you're making me think like, what the
Should be doing it right now, bro. Whatever that
Soul
is.
searching, man. Open up that mind.
Yeah.
That mind
Sit down.
And that's why I got to
Do
get
this
out of that.
whole-
I have to get out of that. I have that worker mentality because of the bills and the accumulation and, me wanting to be there for my daughter all the time. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like a lot of shit like that.
You applaud it, man. You want to do that for your baby, man. Like,
Yeah. I mean, because you want to be able to, provide for them and stuff. And it's like, man, when you can't, it's just that's a cold situation. So I'm dealing with the finance part of it. It's really the transition.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
Like,
good.
yeah, because when you're not used to something, then you transitioning into another life is kind of like real scary, real confusing.
Agreed. But okay, I'll challenge you to think about it like this, right? Most of the things that are dope, right?
Right.
And all the growth happen out of uncomfortable places, bro.
Yes.
Right.
All the growth that happens, like all the growth that I've had in my life came out of places when I was uncomfortable, man.
Man.
Like, my goal ain't even to seek to be comfortable at all. I'm always trying to be off balance because I'm like, okay, I'm growing in this area because I'm off balance. All right, so so let me not ever be comfortable.
Right. You know what I heard?
Continue to grow.
You know what I heard on TikTok, dog, that when you said that continue to grow, this is what the dude said. He said, all right, when you plant a seed in the ground, the seed grows in two different directions, up and down.
I love this.
But what he said was that the seed will grow down further and he'll get to a point, then he pushes up out the ground. So basically he was saying you have to go through you have to hit rock bottom to push up out
Yeah, that was Myron
a situation. Huh?
Myron Golden.
Yeah, with the white beard, right?
I rock with him.
Yeah, that's my guy.
rock with him,
That's
man.
my guy. Hey, he's serious. What is he, a preacher?
I don't know if he's a preacher or not.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah, but I listen to a lot of his stuff because it's
Say his name again.
Myron Golden.
Yeah,
And
he's solid too.
Yeah,
He's
I follow
solid.
a lot of his
I'm gonna
stuff.
look him up.
Yeah. But so the thing that I got out that same thing that you saw on TikTok, I saw that. The part that stuck out to me was when he was talking about what happens in the darkness.
Yeah.
So that's the time when everybody don't see you. That's the time when you ain't outside.
You ain't outside and everything ugly, like a dog. When you remember how you used to fight the dogs back in the day, throw his ass in the closet to heal up.
That's the time when you in that darkness. That's that green room. That's that development time.
Yeah.
Right.
Everybody can't see you. You can't have too much stuff that is impure, kind of pushing into that place, because you getting developed into what is gonna be required for this next part of the journey, bro.
Yeah, that's crazy because you remember, bro. I know you might not remember, but bro, I remember. I ain't gonna say no names. It's back in the day.
Don't say no names.
Yeah,
Right.
But bro, this fool threw his dog in the closet, bro. I swear to God.
Oh my God.
After he, you know how they be, whatever. But bro, I seen this mother like it couldn't have been no more than 8 weeks.
Right.
Beautiful coat, like ain't nothing never happened to him. And it blew my mind. And what he told me, what he did, he said, "Man, I ain't did nothing but throw his ass in the closet, fed him, and he got right back right, like he never ever went nowhere." And it fucked me up. But it goes with what you said, man. You have to go in that dark, bro. That shit's crazy. It's like shit be right in front of you. You just don't get it until you're in it. It's pretty much.
Absolutely.
Let me ask you this because we almost out of time.
Almost
But
out of time,
I
bro.
really did want to ask you this. What is it's a 2-part question?
Yeah.
I'm good for that. What is the best advice somebody gave you coming into your career? And then if somebody wanted to actually enter into your field, what's the best advice that you have for them? And then also what your contact information, like if they can reach out to you if they had any questions.
Word.
3 parts.
The biggest piece of advice that I got was it was a guy named John Sigonella. Shout out to John if you still in the business. And so this is when I was working for J.P. Morgan Chase in up north, and I was a small business banker. So I would do a lot of referrals over to the mortgage department. But I had everything so clean because I was thorough in talking and understanding what I needed to get from my client. And he said, "Man, bro, you ever thought about doing this mortgage thing?" And I was like, "Nah, I'm good." He was like, "Bro, you better at this than me." I was like, "How?" And he said, "You pay attention, you digging deep and finding out exactly what the clients want. You actually building relationships with them and things like that. So when I talk to your clients, I'm having a better experience because you set proper expectations. And I was like, okay. And that was not necessarily a piece of advice, but it was a challenge in that I was already on the road to get to this, and I just didn't know it. And it just spoke. And he was an Italian dude at that, not a black guy.
Right.
This was an Italian guy that said that, and it caused me to start thinking about the next steps and what it is that I need to do. What I would tell anybody that wants to actually have a career in real estate or in finance, anything like that, do some research first, right? It doesn't require a college degree,
Right.
which is beautiful.
Yeah, that's definitely
Right?
beautiful.
It does require a lot of education, continuing education, and things of that nature. But our team is here to help. My goal is to build an army of people that have a passion for our community, that want to actually help, that want to actually get rich trying to do that too. Because if you do the work, you put the work first, the money comes second. Like, you can't always do something about trying to get paid. Like, if you're running around like my goal is to try to make money, then you're gonna do some things that are contrary to your core values and your character. But if you put the work first, then the money and things like that'll come. On every social platform, it's Todd Simon. That's on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, everything. You can find me anywhere there. My email address is contact@toddsimon.com. And I'm not giving out my personal phone number.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
I get in the middle of the night. Hey, Todd, man, let me get the.
Don't even text me like that.
You got to get the group information, though.
Yeah. The SimonWrayGroup.
Yeah.
It's SimonWrayGroup. That's on all the platforms as well. Email address the same. Contact@ToddSimon. And that's how you can get in contact with us, man. DM us, and definitely looking to help somebody. Because there were certain people along the way that helped me, that said something to me that say, man, you got something in you, there's some kind of fire in you. That now that I look back, I can see it.
Right.
I can see why.
And the good thing is, man, like, that's why I tell people, man, it could come from anybody. Because like you said, that was an Italian dude.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That put you on to something that you end up making a lifestyle out of.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So be able to take anything that's good from anybody.
You can. You can extract the lesson from anywhere, man. So
I like that.
Yeah.
I hate that we out of time, bro. That happened real quick, man.
Yeah, see, that's how it be. You'll start off slow, and then it'll just like.
And you drop some really important information, man. And also, I want to, from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you for coming on, because you actually
Appreciate y'all having me, man.
Yeah, explored my mind and started me thinking about other things and what's the possibility of my dreams coming true.
It will. It will,
being
bro,
a man
always.
of faith and following those things. So I thank you for all that clarity that you brought to me today.
God be the glory, bro.
Well, I got one more question for Todd. I ain't gonna talk about Jesus no more. I'm gonna leave Jesus alone.
Yeah.
But what the hell is we gonna do about this hip hop? When we gonna learn again? We used to learn back in the day.
Yeah, we did.
Why can't we learn shit from this today? And what do you think about that Drake and Kendrick Lamar? I had to ask you about that, even though it's old. You know what I mean?
They not like us.
And Rick Ross got jumped. Okay, 2.
Yeah. Okay. So Kendrick a monster, bro.
Man.
Why did
But one thing that they got a point
Kendrick
about
the culture, bro?
But they got a point that Drake got more hits and all that stuff than him. But when Kendrick drop, it's almost like, man, it's like a classical moment or something.
It is,
like
man.
that.
Like I believe that Kendrick is like, that's when you feeling that, you feel that's hip hop.
Right.
Drake got some joints where he spit, pop, singing on the hook is cute.
Yeah.
Right.
Like most devs say, he definitely target music.
Right. Yeah. So but those are two. We're comparing two different things.
Okay.
Like his platform is, I'm singing, I'm getting the chicks, we dancing in the club, we doing that.
I'm having fun.
Kendrick is, he coming from the pure essence of hip hop.
Yeah,
I'm
the
at
culture,
your throat.
the real hip hop culture.
And you can tell. That's why they not like us.
Man, he crushed him with that one. Oh my God, bro, call him a colonizer.
Yeah, he
killed him.
He showed out, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Killed him.
It was
Showed out.
It was
I think it's really a distraction, but I think really, man, they just going back and forth, they're having fun, and I actually like to see the challenge, but I just ask that they keep it respectful. That's all.
I just don't understand, right? Okay, And I understand this part of it because of the the internet and stuff and how we we can see things more than we were used to back in the day.
Right.
Okay, but why would these guys, if they know this shit gonna be messed up, like the dude that killed Pop Smoke, they let him out. They interviewed him.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yep.
I would have never.
Yep. No, shout out to No Jumper, but they interviewed him.
Yeah.
You ain't see that, bro? Check out what he said. He was like, they asked him. He said, "Do you regret anything that happened?" He said, "No, I don't have no regrets. I don't feel sorry for nothing." Young dude, 17, 18. He had a juvenile life. That's how he got out. So he 21.
Oh man.
Yeah, bro. But then
he have no remorse. Okay.
Yeah.
No regret. That speak deeper. That speak to what we was talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's PTSD.
think so?
Yeah, bro. Like you walk around with trauma responses. So like we're desensitized to violence and death and all of that kind of stuff. So how could somebody that's 17, 18, 19 years old, 21 now, kill somebody and have no heart? No.
But you know what he said though?
That's what I'm saying. So,
But you know what he said though in the interview?
what?
And it's crazy that you just said that. Like he said, I mean, how you mad at me because he was rapping about it?
Exactly. He sure
He
did
was rapping
say
about
that. He
shooting
said
and killing,
that,
and
bro.
then he got killed, and then boom. I mean, he was like, I hope that I don't wish that on nobody, but he was like, shit, it is what it is. And I'm just like,
And he wrote a letter to the family and all that shit he said, but then it's like,
he said his condolences and everything. He wished it never happened. He went to school the next morning like nothing happened. But he was like, "How y'all mad at?" He was like, "Yeah, y'all mad at me for killing him." But then y'all didn't say nothing when he was rapping about it, jumping around, gang banging in the videos and stuff like that.
made a valid point with that.
Correct.
Made a valid point.
But this is what so back this actually answers your point. So when you were talking about why is there no real teaching happening in hip hop and things like that no more, because that ain't what sells. Like what sell is us degrading ourselves and popping pills and all this other kind of stuff.
Do you think we ushered in that though?
Yeah, we did.
Damn, our generation.
Yeah, we did.
I thought about that shit too, bro. Like I was like, man, when we think about what we was listening to growing up, it's like we almost pushed that shit into play.
But think about even outside of music, like what sells? Fear. Why do you have a security alarm? Fear. Why do you have, you know what I'm saying? Why do you have insurance? Fear. They make you fear, like, oh man, if you ain't got insurance, nothing else gonna happen after that.
Right.
Security.
Right.
Oh, if you kick my door and the police gonna come because of security. The whole time it's really just some beeping noise.
Yeah.
But if that shit don't connect back to who you need it to be, it's useless.
Useless, yeah.
Well, I mean, I think hip hop has always been a reflection of what's happening with the culture. So
Yeah.
and
in the real world.
In the real world, right? So if you go outside and you see the average young black male and how they look, it actually is a direct depiction of the music.
Right.
Everybody pants hanging down, you know, like rags on my head, all this kind of stuff. These are things that are not showing that you have pride in who you are.
Right.
Right? And so
They take that and run with it and turn it against you.
and then you can't be mad if somebody doesn't respect you because you walk around in a situation where you're not exuding respect for yourself.
But do you think, and this is my last question, I know we gotta get out here, but do you think they trying to over exhilarate what we did? Because like you never heard a rap where somebody talk about smoking on some dead nigga or some shit like that. You never heard of that. You know what I'm saying? Like we never disrespected the dead like that.
Not at all, but we did not have as much access to the world as they have now. Like we didn't have social media and all of that. So you could not really see what was really happening everywhere except on your MTV Raps or
Right.
you know, Rap City or something like that.
Exactly.
So you'll see a video, but it wasn't every day when you open up Instagram and you can see
A fight, a shootout,
I
a
feel
mad
like they
school
did it,
shooting.
but you had to read between the lines. It wasn't that hard to figure out. You know, if you knew, you knew, but it wasn't like just like, hey, yo, F this rapper. We gonna get this rapper out of here. Like even with the whole other situation, man, like they going ham.
we wasn't scared to fight either.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
We weren't scared to fight. We weren't trying to actually kill nobody.
But no, we wasn't scared to accept we got beat up.
That's what I'm saying.
That was the thing.
Yeah.
They don't want to accept they get beat up. They ready to shoot something and kill something. You know what I'm saying? Like shit. Sometimes you gotta take that L. I take it. Man, fuck it. I want to live another day.
We need to all go home.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm overweight. I ain't even trying to be fighting no more.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We out of that league. We out of that league.
I can't even run from the police no more.
Yeah.
That's why I live right.
For real.
I can't run from them.
Take all that out the way. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah. You know what? I got insurance now, sir. I ain't even got to run from nothing.
Yeah. Well,
You got it.
Yeah. We'll be able to get
Yeah,
out
my
of here, man. You
paperwork-
know,
my
Nick got to
paperwork
go.
straight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So listen, this is the MDN, the Modern Day Nigga Network. For all you niggas that's always gonna nig, we want to thank
Niggas
Mr.
is
Todd for coming through,
always gonna
dropping his
nig,
knowledge
man.
on us. I want to give a special shout out to Harlem's Closet. I want to give a shout out to the Brennen family and the Jones family. We want to tell you keep your head up, and we thank you for supporting and rocking with us.
Thanks for having Todd in, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
definitely.
Really appreciate it, brother.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself. Take care of your health. Get your mind right, and do something with your life.
Peace.
Peace.